Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel. We are a family of four, and we like to do adventurous things here on the weekends. So we are going to take you on a ride today to Islands of Adventure here in Universal Studios, Florida. My name's Jeremy. Then we got my son, Zayden, my wife, Tanya, and my daughter, Rylan. All right, let's go on an adventure.
Mongol lions.
Let's go! Let's go! There, even! Okay. Alright, that raptor is pretty aggressive. We're gonna try to focus and ride here. Oh my god. Not going well. Oh, shoe lost, shoe acquired. Jandra is a hero, everyone. Recovered the shoe.
Yes, if he's dead.
One time we lost the kid's head. Come on over. You're gonna stand right over there on the blue line. Do you remember you found that head? Severed. All right. Okay, right there on that blue line. Easy. We're gonna remain calm, which is easier said than done. All right. The Velociraptor staring right now. Coming up closer towards there. Easy. Lunging closer and closer. They're gonna get on out to safety. A good move.
All right, everyone, we've made it over here to Seussville. We've got some treats for you to check out. I'm gonna turn it over here to my son. Got two different kinds of cookies, and she's gonna tell you all about it.
I got a snickerdoodle cookie, and I got the cat in the hat cookie, which is not as big as my head, almost. I like the Christmas tree cookie that we had yesterday from the same spot, from the Sweet Treats in Whoville. Very good.
Thanks, Mom.
There you
Thumbs
go.
up.
Thumbs up.
All right, go ahead and try the second one. Try your snickerdoodle.
I've been waiting for this all day. Yeah. Not the best snickerdoodle, but it's still pretty good.
Is it a soft snickerdoodle or a harder snickerdoodle?
It's a little bit harder.
More traditional snickerdoodle one?
Yep.
Alright, we're gonna move over. Rylan couldn't wait for us to record, but she got this from Hogsmeade and Honeydukes, and it was called the No Melt Ice Cream, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Rylan, what did it?
It kind of tastes like pudding a little bit, but it also kind of tastes like a chocolate mousse or something.
Alright, so is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Alright. Well, we're gonna go ahead and finish our snacks, and for all you families traveling to Universal over here in Seussville, over here by the Seuss ride, basically you can look right up here. It's a great mass little rest break area. Also, you can see right behind me, you can see the Velocicoaster. Still doing some testing on that, so I don't know when that's officially going to open up. But we will join you here in a few minutes.
I see you.
I see you.
I know.
Yes, I do. He's hiding.
He's a Susan at you. Put those back on his face. Put those back on his
Yeah, you found the Grinch. Yay.
Oh, you guys are just gonna leave, huh? All right, give me that. Not even lying. Thank you. Just sit. I don't care how. Just sit.
This is Tiny the Kids Meet the Village.
Say, come on already.
You know, I disappoint me. And you.
Why?
Exhibit A, hope to see the wonderful outfit that she's wearing. Now, what is different about her that is not different about you?
She had one of these and didn't want to wear it. He had another hat and didn't want to wear it.
No, I didn't.
Well, better get out the cheese because you just got ratted out. Don't bring your eyes at me, I invented that. All right, let me see. All right, you two look horribly bored. Oh, perfect. No, give me something. Give me like, yeah, like that. Yeah. How about this? I got one for you. Do this.
There you go.
Oh, you get it, God's
You mastered
I'm
that.
so sorry. Instead, you can do one of these. Woo! Your choice.
He's shy.
Where are you going? Taking a lap? You can stand in the middle.
You want to see in the middle? You can see in the middle. He's a mama's boy.
Move over. Yeah, how perfect. Great. Okay. Do that thing you did before. You and I have different definitions before. Perfect. That it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. Are you getting it?
Yes. No, I'm not.
Which one?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I suppose you want to take your own photo then. You
Yeah.
have like 5 cameras.
I know.
All right.
I'm prepared.
You? Go stand right there. Cheese!
Fire!
Over there!
Guys,
Over here.
someone take a picture.
Line!
Oh, on the line.
Oh, the line that says please
It's their first
stand
day.
here.
Ready? All right.
Finish.
Cheese.
Finish.
Come on, Dad.
There we go. Let's get a couple of
You
them.
gotta cycle through all the different cameras here.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so here we go.
Here we are at the train station in for the train. Here it comes, the Hogwarts Express. We're the train over to King's Cross. One of the cool things here you can do also is you can buy rounds for $59 plus tax, and you can do little spells. They have them up here. There's Rylan doing one of the spells right now.
But I did. Where were you pointing it at?
There it is.
There it goes. Then when you pass the spell, you get little cool interactions like this.
Cool.
Wow, that was pretty cool, guys.
So whenever you get them, you just gotta go and find these little markers here on the floor, on the ground, and then you just cast the spell. Hey everyone, welcome back. Definitely want to kind of just do a little recap of the first adventure you just saw of the Wagers Weekend Warriors. We're definitely going to be taking a lot more trips. We've got one planned out, at least 1 to 2 a month. Definitely, we're going to try to get almost 4 in a month so we can record, and definitely get these posted to kind of show you our little adventures that we take as a family. Kind of at the end of every video, I'll probably sit back down here at the desk and kind of go over the pros and the cons, and definitely, let you guys know the things that we did as a family of 4 to make our trip better, to make our experience more exciting. So definitely want to kind of, get started. So with the pros, I think of this trip was definitely safety. Obviously during during a pandemic right now with COVID still in full effect. Definitely, taking your temperature as soon as you walked in. That was a very big thing. Making sure that, no one has a temperature, everyone's staying safe, answering some people, they even ask questions, were you exposed? Were you around anyone? Different things along those lines. I think, another big thing for my family and I was definitely the hand sanitizer before you got onto the ride. I think that was a big thing. Definitely watching cast members with their spray bottles, sanitizing rides down. That was another big thing. But having a cast member actually squirt sanitizer into your hand before you got onto the ride, I think that was a really good thing, especially even the children. They made sure that they had the sanitizer to rub into their hands. So if they did touch stuff on the ride, their hands were sanitized. So that definitely did make you feel a lot better. Honestly, what I can say for during this whole pandemic that we've been living through for the past, it feels like forever, but definitely I think it made me feel safer inside the park than it did going to your local grocery store. I think that was one of the big things. I felt, even though it was during, you'll see we went through during Christmas time, crowds were a lot more just like kind of like, Universal of old, where it's kind of, elbows to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, just kind of crazy party time, the whole time we were there. I still felt safe. And I know that, the social distancing, they did their best, especially when you're waiting in line to order food, getting on rides. They had the markers on the ground. They even had cast members that sometimes I was watching when people were too close together, they would ask them to separate, making sure that people are social distancing the best as possible. I think that was one of the big things that I noticed. Another thing that I noticed is they actually had cast members just walking around with a little earpiece on that had a little microphone and had a big speaker on their belt, and they would call you out. It was one of the, it was definitely kind of different, but they would call you out if your mask wasn't fully worn properly, if it was below your nose, if it was all the way down underneath your chin, they would say, hey, pull it up. Definitely follow the safety guidelines. I was reading that, they can just take you out of the park for the day. Definitely, that's something that, it's so minute, but it made you feel safer. It made my family and I feel safer, I should say. I think that was one of the big things. You can stop, pull over, kind of get out of the main walk area. If you wanted to take a drink or eat a little snack, especially with having kids along, you don't want to stand in those big lines. So you just have a little bag of chips or, some nuts or something like that, just for the kids to kind of get a little something in their stomachs, but in between meals, because you're walking 10 to 20,000 steps while you're at the park. So definitely, little ones are gonna get tired a lot faster than us adults. So I think definitely that was a good thing. You were allowed to do that, but you had to be stopped. You couldn't just gradually be walking along. They'd call you out. We got called out because we didn't really understand all the rules at first, our first day there, but after that, just walk over, just get out of the main walking area, and people did a really good job, social distancing themselves. I think that was a great thing. Something else that we found out was we got these Coke Freestyle cups. They were great, instead of having to carry bottles of water and refilling it, you don't feel that safe because with little kids, they like to touch things, so you don't know when it was clean last. So these Coke Freestyle cups, they were great. They were $15.99 for one, $14.99 for two, and $12.99 from 3 to 6. And the first day you got unlimited refills anytime you wanted. So any freestyle machine in Universal or Universal Islands of Adventure, they were refillable for free. So that was a great thing. You could reactivate them the next day, and the next day, as many times as you'd like for $8.99 plus tax. But the only little catch was, it wasn't even really a big thing, but you had to wait 10 minutes in between each time that you did fill these cups back up. So one thing that we did notice is we let Rylan, who is our oldest, she's 9, go and fill the cups up one time. And what she did is she accidentally lifted it up while the the fizz was kind of settling. And she tried to set it back down to top it, to fill it all the way back up. But the machine read that she took it off and it made us wait 10 minutes. Not a huge deal, but definitely, just kind of when you are doing those, make sure you keep the cup completely on the freestyle machine until you're completely full with it. So from there on out, Tanya and I kind of basically just went ahead and refilled them all. But definitely, just the little FYI, little tip there for you. Cons, obviously, we went during Christmas time. Crowd levels were crazy. I feel like between 10 and 11 o'clock every day, I think they were hitting capacity in both parks. So that was definitely, just kind of made you want to get there for the early hours. That was one thing we took advantage of the whole time we were there. So if you stay at a Universal hotel, or you are an annual pass holder, you get in early. Either one park or the other. So definitely, just look on your Universal app that you can download on your phone. See which park opens earlier. That's how we planned our day every day. We went in to the park early. We definitely got in there, got our rides. Every person in our family picked a ride that we wanted to do once we figured out what park was opening early. And we made sure that, the kids' rides, we did those first. Because obviously, you go on family vacations, it's about your kids. You want to make sure that they're having a great time. Definitely. So we always made sure we got those 2 rides knocked out first, did Tanya and myself's rides last. But, by the first couple of hours we were in there, we got our 4 rides that we really wanted to take advantage of that day and made sure we got done. Definitely, with like Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, Jimmy Fallon, Shrek sometimes did the virtual line. So those were a big thing that you wanted to make sure that as soon as the park opened, you tried to get on into the virtual queue. If not, like I know Hagrid's at 2 o'clock while we were there, they opened up another queue session. So 1:59, like 1:50, Tanya had a little alarm set on her phone and her watch. So at 1:50, that means we kind of just veered off to the side, got ready to get on those rides and take advantage of them. So those weren't the big rides that we tried to jump right on first and foremost. We definitely wanted to make sure that, we took advantage of the other rides, whatever the kids wanted to do, got them on their rides, got them to experience it. So, they were feeling like they got to play in some of the day too. That was one of our big things. Crowds. So, by 1 or 2 o'clock, it just got really kind of like Parks of Old, I guess is the best way to, describe it, like I said earlier. So it was just kind of got too crazy for us, with little kids. I mean, my kids are 9 and 7, so they're not super little anymore, but I mean, they're still, little kids. So, making sure that they're taken care of, got our backpacks and, the GoPros and all the other cameras. By 1 or 2 o'clock, we were able to be done for the day. And that was a great thing to take advantage of. We got there at 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, spent a good 6 to 8 hours in the park and were able to leave. So, definitely that was one of the things that we made sure that we did. Another thing I can stress is my family, make sure you take rest days. Definitely, where you're not used to walking those 10 to 20,000 steps, like I said earlier, it takes a toll on you, especially the kids. You're taking 10 to 20,000 steps as an adult. They're probably taking 30,000 steps as a child. So, it wears them out. My kids, by 8 or 9 o'clock, usually they're like, that's when they get their second burst. They were done. So, I mean, that was nice. Tanya and I got to have some quiet adult time. So that was always good. Kind of got to plan out the next day to what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go, which park was opening. So, that next day when we got up for the park, that we were already had our game plan going and were able to, hit the ground running. Preferred parking. We upgraded to an annual pass because we were going to go to the parks for 4 days, and we basically paid, I think it was like $80 more, and we were able to get an annual pass. So, and it's good for a year. We're already planning a couple more trips, right now with flights being cheap, and, I don't mind driving. So driving down there, like I said, we're in Ohio, so it takes, about 12 to 14 hours to get there, depending on how cooperative the kids are. As you all will know, definitely with kids, how many times I got to go to the bathroom, or, what's the emergency, this or that. So, definitely we upgraded to that. That's something I would highly suggest if you plan on going to the parks for at least 3 to 4 days. Not to mention you get discounts on food, merchandise, all those different things, and parking is free too. You do pay for parking the first day. So definitely just be aware that that is not a reimbursement either. You do pay parking the first day, but every time after that, it's free. So, I mean, you're saving parking, you're saving discounts in food, merchandise. So, I mean, definitely it pays for itself. And in my family and I's opinions, we definitely were excited to get those passes. And not to mention one little thing that we did do. We did pay for preferred parking. It's $10 more than the normal parking. In my opinion, it wasn't really worth it. You know, you did get closer parking, yes, but the way the obstacle course, basically is what I like to call it, you know, the weaving in and out of all the gates and the walk areas, it almost took as much time as it would just for the normal parking. And we always, like I said, we got there for the early hours, so we still got in the really good parking spots. So I personally, you know, obviously try it yourself, see if maybe you get better luck than we did the one time we tried it. But we wouldn't recommend spending extra money. I mean, you get parking that's a little bit closer, but not really too much to ride home about, in my opinion. So definitely, I personally wouldn't spend that extra $10 on the parking. I would spend that $10 in the park. You know, if you're already going to plan on spending that money, spend it inside the park. Get you a drink, get you some frozen butterbeer. Highly suggest, by the way. Was had my reservations about that, but frozen butterbeer is where it's at. Not gonna lie, the whole family loved it. I was shocked. It was one thing that the whole family actually agreed upon that we really liked. So, you know, but ride times, that was another probably con, I would say. Like I said, you know, once you got there, it was crazy. I mean, you were 120 minutes, 190 minutes. I feel like, you know, virtual lines for Hagrid's, Jimmy Fallon. It reminded me of Disney and Universal of old. You know, where by that time you're waiting for 2 hours sometimes to ride a ride. So definitely, you know, get there early, get your rides in, but be planned. You know, have a plan of action. You know, have a plan of attack. That was something that we made sure that we did. Like I said, the day before. So when we got in, we knew exactly where we were going for the first ride, second ride. We had it planned out, figured out little shortcuts and, you know, little faster ways to get to these rides. So that was definitely, you know, something that the family and I, we knew we were on a mission. So, I mean, you know, it wasn't the, do we want to ride this? Do we want to ride that? We knew exactly the first 4 rides we were going to try to get in that day. So, I mean, overall, great time. You know, like I said, I felt very safe. My whole family felt very safe. So if you get a chance to go down to Universal or Disney, you know, we're going to try to get to Disney later on this year. Can't wait to show you all 4 of those parks, you know, seeing what the cool new things that are coming along. So seeing what they've done, you know, we haven't been to Disney, so we'll have to see what their safety protocols are, but I'm sure it's just as top notch as Universal's was. So, you know, I mean, at this time, can't wait to talk to you guys again, but go out and start your own adventure. You know, you don't have to go to Universal. We're going to go on just some little day trips coming up. You know, in the next couple months, we're going to take the kids snow tubing. We're going to go to Legoland. So just some future videos that we're going to be shooting. So just get out and have some family time. You know, obviously, COVID's put a damper on a lot of those things right now, and it's winter, so that's another big thing. But, you know, just that family time, that's what my kids, you know, they always make sure that that's what they say is one of the best things about it, is just spending time with family. So go out, start your own adventure. Leave your comments below where you liked us to go. Once it gets warmer, the camper, we have a camper, a 26-foot long travel trailer. We named him Sully. So we'll be taking a lot of camping trips, showing you a lot of the good, the bad, the pros, the cons of the campgrounds that we visit. We're going to try to hit up 4 states. We were able to do 4 states last year. We're going to try to get 4 states in again this year. So, you know, if there's some great parks, some campgrounds that you've been to, leave in the comments below. Let us know. We might go there and we might shoot a video. So, you know, definitely if you're not a subscriber of our channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to ding that little bell. So you'll know exactly the next time I post our next video. So that's it for now. Go out and have your good adventure, and we'll see you again soon.